Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Achievement Horse podcast. This is episode number 19, and we're brought to you by XboxGamer.me. I am your host, as usual, Scratch, and I've got Sniffles with me again. Who has the Sniffles? Are you good?
I do have the Sniffles.
Okay.
Quite ironically, but yeah, I'm okay.
But we figured, given that's your name, it was okay for you to be sick on the podcast. Totally cool. And we have Maxen with us to he's going to fill in some of the blanks from last week.
Hello.
And you're prepared to do that, right? You have knowledge
Maybe
of what we were unsure about. So he's going to set us straight on a couple of things there. And we also have Judge with us again this week. So welcome, Judge.
Hello. It's a full house.
It is a full house. So we'll try not to go 10, 15 hours long if we can. It saves me some editing.
We'll keep it to 6 hours.
So we're gonna do the best we can. We've got lots to talk about. We're gonna, like I said already, Maxen is gonna talk about some of the stuff we talked about last week, mainly Happy Wars. And we've got some game announcements or some things to watch for. And we got a few reviews that are going to come out pretty soon. Some games we've been playing, so we're going to talk about the achievements in those.
We've got a Titanfall 2 review coming out soon.
Yep, we've got Titanfall 2 review coming out. We've got Titanfall 2 codes to give away. No, I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be cool, though? People would probably listen if we did that. We'll have to look into that. Anyways.
That was quite the tangent.
Right. So, I guess we'll start with Happy Wars. Have you guys been playing Happy Wars, Judge? I've seen you on it.
Yeah, I've actually been playing quite a lot. I at least make it a point to log in every day to do the treasure map.
Get some
free items. It's part of my routine of 7 games that now have daily logins that I go through every
I know
day.
that's going to be a thing.
And I just added
do
another
a whole
one.
podcast about daily logins.
Is it worth doing those things for Happy Wars?
For Happy Wars, I think.
For Happy Wars, yeah.
They do get some pretty cool
more
stuff.
so than other games. You get coins every day. I mean, the amount of coins varies, but they give you a decent amount, and you need coins to level up your items, and buy new items. So it's pretty.
Pink umbrellas.
It's actually not useless
really want
stuff
one.
like some games. It actually can add up pretty quickly. So. And there's also spots on the map. The map refreshes every month, but there's spots on the map that have a treasure chest that might have an actual item in it.
Or a bonus item.
Yeah, and then there's an item at the end of the map where basically if you log in every day of the month, you're gonna get whatever's at the end of the map.
I think you can get away with not logging in every single day. I think it's 25 days or something.
Oh,
yeah,
that's good then.
I probably need to start today.
So if you miss only a couple days, you'll still be okay. You can get the big item at the end.
I haven't missed any days yet this month. I've been in 5 days in a row here, so I'm good.
So I guess an update to that. Excuse me. An update to that is my achievements did pop. I'm good to go, and Maxen is going to explain what actually happened or what he. Some of the questions we had, I think we talked about, we didn't know if it was cross-play, but I was pretty sure because of the way it said that it affected the game.
Yes.
And like I already mentioned, my achievements did pop. Yours did as well. I guess I knew that when we did the podcast, but I was
blanking.
Being over dramatic or something, maybe.
Yeah,
so go ahead.
So you just had some questions last week that I had the answers to. So,
I knew all the answers.
I don't know all the answers, but I knew the answers to these questions. So
how is
one of the questions was whether you talked a little bit about crossplay. So actually, initially, the game when it was announced at I think it was E3, they did say crossplay, but they quietly unannounced that in a press release or a blog post or something like end of last year. So Because initially you were supposed to be able to play 360 to 1, but they removed that.
Okay.
That's probably part of the delay as well.
Which is actually weird because I saw Wargaming, the people who do World of Tanks, they said they're planning on doing crossplay between 360 and Xbox One, so I think it can be done. I just don't know why
they're planning.
They all of a sudden couldn't do it.
Yeah, maybe it's just slightly more difficult than they were prepared for, or maybe Wargaming have a better idea of how to do it.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Sure.
I'm sure it'll present them with a lot of new, like, sort of hurdles to, figure out how to get around.
Yeah.
When trying to do that.
Yep. And then you also had some questions about, like, the achievements. So, you talked about the True Achievement Challenge where I popped some achievements on the second day and they didn't count. So the issue there was that the first time I played it, I unlocked 19 achievements for playing my first game because those were the 360 achievements I already had.
Okay.
But so if you look at the achievement list for all games, it said I had 4. Whereas True Achievements had immediately scanned that I had 17. So when I got 5 the next day, Xbox.com was saying that I had 9. So True Achievements was looking at it going, well, you've got 9, you had 17 yesterday, so you don't have any new ones, and didn't scan them. So that was the issue there. And then the day after I got eliminated, Xbox.com updated to have 24 or whatever it was. And TA went, oh yeah, you've got all these achievements now. But I'd already been eliminated, so those 5 didn't count towards my total. And it looks like we just lost.
Well, at least they did, but just not until late, right?
So that was the issue there, that the achievements they were there, but because they weren't there in the total list, they weren't showing up.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that was the issue I had.
Right.
I had a question. If you go back to 360, you don't, it updates with what you've just done on your Xbox One?
Exactly. So you got the same game profile across both now. So if you play a bit on the Xbox One and then go back to your Xbox 360, all your progress carries back. So that means that if you unlock an achievement on the Xbox One that is also on the Xbox 360 achievement list, or through the Xbox One you meet the requirements of one that's on 360 but not on the Xbox One, then when you go back to your Xbox 360, it will pop. A friend of mine did this and his achievements unlocked without issue. So that's good.
Okay.
Yep. Was that
perfect?
Yeah, so that's good on the achievements front.
But it was just sort of a unfortunate circumstance, I guess, that kind of kicked you out of the
exactly.
Like if you would have done any other game or something.
Yeah, if I got 5 achievements in any other game, I would have been fine. But
would you still be in now?
No, no. Because the challenge was based on getting a set number of achievements per day, and it was increasing by 1 each day. So the day I went out,
it was 23 or something.
It might be that high, yeah. So the day I went out, I was 11. It was 11. I think it was a Sunday, and then it would have increased every
11?
day. Yeah, it would have increased, so 12 on the Monday. I had plans to get enough that week, and then I think I would have lasted till the weekend had been out this week. I wouldn't have lasted this long.
I got knocked out on day 2.
Yeah, because you forgot to sync your achievements.
I didn't realise I had to update it before the cut-off point.
Yeah, I didn't realise that either, so fortunately you pointed that out.
Yeah, so me getting kicked out benefited your progress.
Yeah, but it didn't last that long though, because I got kicked out on a technicality. So, yeah, that didn't last very long. But,
I wish they did more competition things like that. It's always good fun to give yourself a reason to, push yourself.
To kind of push it, yeah. That's what I was going to say too. Like that is kind of cool. Like I enjoy the gamer score challenge or whatever that we're doing each week.
That you're both knocked out of on the individual side.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I believe I'm still like that.
Yep.
Yep.
You've actually been getting a lot more achievements than you had been in the past.
Yep. This year I've been getting more achievements.
We're proud of you too, by the way.
I am impressed.
I did have an impressive streak going that would have beaten yours had I not completely messed up.
And you do have Flappy Goat, so you got that going for you.
Yep, I've got the full 1000G on Goat Simulator.
Yeah, I
on
had a
both the
discussion.
360 though?
No, have you've not started on 360 either yet, have you?
I've not either. It crossed my mind. I won't lie
Is
there.
it just Flappy Goat that's stopping you?
It is. That was hard to do. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
I so want to try it now.
You should get it. It's only £8.
I will in a few weeks.
$10 in the US.
Yeah.
So there was one more thing on Happy Wars before we move on. And I think, Stretch, you kind of picked up on this last week. And that's that if you're playing on the 360 and then switch over to the Xbox One immediately, it won't work. You can't log in. For some reason, even if you quit
You have to wait a bit.
Yeah, even if you quit the game on 360, for some reason it keeps your profile active on the 360. And for me, I had to wait a couple hours before I could play on the Xbox One. Scratch, you said it took a couple of minutes.
Yeah, but
yeah, it was just a few
hour.
minutes for me. It wasn't such a big deal.
Yeah, no, I tried like 20, 30 minutes later and it still wasn't working for me. So I had to wait a couple of hours for it to work.
Oh, really? Huh.
So I don't know if it's now down to a couple of minutes. Maybe it was an issue because I did it immediately on the day it released, like in the morning. So maybe that was the only issue and now it's quicker, but it's worth noting that you can't immediately switch between the two. There's some delay.
Yeah, I mean, well, my thing is like I wanted to go in and just, I was checking, to make sure that everything was updated and like if I had any happy tickets, I was just gonna, spend them because it says the happy tickets and stuff don't carry over between the two, but I thought, well, if I get, if I spend them and get equipment with it, then that would.
Yeah. See, the thing so
that was my plan, but.
Whereas I was just checking if there was anything I need to do on the 360 to upload my save or anything like Borderlands and Minecraft do for the transfer. But there wasn't. It transfers immediately, so you don't even need to do anything.
Easy as that.
Yes, it's as easy as downloading it on the One and playing it, and then getting hooked.
Yeah, I don't think it'd like that be an issue for me. I wouldn't really be switching that often.
Yeah.
But that's good to know.
Yep.
So what's up next?
Well, we got quite a list to get through today. So I think next is Judge. You've got some, sort of mini announcements to make on a few things.
Yep.
Yeah,
I dropped out for a little bit. I don't know what happened, but, yeah. So Air Mech Arena is coming out next week on Xbox One. But if you go to their Facebook page, right now you can get an early access, like kind of the full game. It's going to be free to play anyways, but you get to play it a week early, which is pretty cool.
Did you get one?
Yep. I just got one. I believe Scratch put in for one. Did you get it yet, Scratch?
Not that I found, no.
Yeah, so.
How did they send it to you?
So basically, you go to their Facebook page, which is, facebook.com/AirMechArena, all one word. And they'll have at the very top, they'll have a post that says, want Xbox One early access, just leave a post here and then direct message us. And then, cause that's how they send you your code. And then so they just responded within under 5 minutes, I think, and gave me a code. So yeah, pretty cool. It's free to play game, so there's obviously a lot of microtransactions and stuff you can buy. I saw there was a starter pack on the store, which gives you a certain amount of money and then some exclusive kind of skins for your mech, which is pretty much what you're controlling. But yeah, I saw some cool rewards they had in the Uplay app too, cause this game is published by Ubisoft, so, you can get Uplay rewards and,
Scratch,
yeah.
Does your Uplay still not work?
Well, it only doesn't work for,
You'll never get those rewards.
I know.
It only doesn't
work for,
Assassin's Creed?
I can't think of it. Assassin's Creed, 4.
Black Flag.
But I'm getting that looked into.
It's about time.
I'm trying to make progress. Well, I tried to last year, but it just kind of didn't pan out.
It's a really cool idea to do that within like across their games, so you could spend some points you got from one game on a different one. But I don't think the rewards are that good, personally.
For the Uplay rewards, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, some games are like really crappy, but I mean, like they had some cool ones I looked at for this one, like some new weapons and some new mechs and stuff you can unlock for like 20, 30 points each, which really isn't that much. I think
that's what I do.
I have like
That's what I do
points.
too.
Oh, okay, nice.
I'll just play. I'll just play the games, to get the to get the points, and then like when a game that I really like comes out,
exactly.
like I have all these points. I actually have like 804 points or something like that I've not spent on anything yet. But like I'll get a game like, just one that I like Rayman or something, and I'll get the different skins or something for whatever reason. But I do like it.
They're kind of like pre-order like the same level of pre-order bonuses. Normally cosmetic.
Yeah, most of it's like cosmetic stuff. Like I know Assassin's Creed has a lot of like costumes and stuff.
But in Far Cry 4 it wasn't really cosmetic like that. Far Cry 4 really helped me.
Was it like maps?
No, what was it like? It was,
Your memory is struggling today.
The gun. It was, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's a gun, but I'm trying to think of the name. It was silenced anyhow. It was like a silenced gun, and that gave me a pretty cool advantage.
And did it help with any achievements if you had to do stuff sneakily?
Right, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's worth it if you get that. I would definitely pick up that gun with the Uplay points if you have them.
Yeah. So when was the Air Macarena out again? You said in a week?
I believe it's out next week, yes.
Okay. I still haven't even played Neverwinter. That's another
and
free
it will be free to play, yeah.
I've played Neverwinter a little bit.
You are good at it though.
I'm level like 42 on Neverwinter.
Maybe not.
Didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
So our next step is we're looking at Games with Gold came out.
They did for May.
Oh, did we mention goats?
No, we didn't.
You
just skipped past that.
I did.
And I was
you know
prepared
what?
to run
Judge,
with it.
tell us about goats. Unconfirmed for Xbox One, correct?
I think all you need
correct.
to do is watch the trailer.
Yeah,
I
I've never
definitely...
personally played it, so.
Oh, you didn't. So, all right. Well, I can speak to this. So we talked about it. I think 2 podcasts ago, or a couple, anyways.
Goat Simulator, yeah.
Goat Simulator
2 weeks ago.
Has some DLC coming. It's coming to Steam, and it's like, what is it? Goat Survival or something. I'll just say that the gamer score minus Flappy Goat was pretty easy, and Goat Simulator didn't really have much of a point except to just kind of walk around and like just be a goat, pretty much.
Bugs.
And experience the bugs and just kind of play and whatever. But they have a DLC called Goats, Goatz, very, very creative.
I think it's supposed to be pronounced Goat Z. There's a play on the game DayZ.
Oh, and then of course Goatsy, which do not Google that.
Okay.
Do not. It's not even a joke. I'm not even joking right now. Don't Google it.
I was not aware of this, but I won't Google that then.
Yeah, it'd be Goat S-E or
yeah, we don't need to tell people how to
something.
spell it.
Oh yeah, because whoever does it will comment that they hate me and they're never watching or listening to this podcast again. So it could be like Daisy. It's probably a play on. It's probably a play on like Daisy and then Goatsy, like Goatsy and that whole thing. So it's like disgusting. A double play on something.
Okay.
Did it, didn't you? You did it.
Someone's made a cake.
Oh, okay.
We don't.
Anyhow, moving right along.
Also,
you gotta move on.
Let's keep it E from everyone.
Definite E for everyone.
It's DLC it's coming to PC and Mac, and it's also a standalone game completely for iOS and Android.
Yes.
So yeah, there's that.
So I think it'll be pretty fun. Like I'll put the trailer I'll have the trailer in the link on our website, xboxgamer.me, and then you'll see, episode 19 of the podcast there. And I'll put the trailer, in the post so you guys can see it. And, let me just say, like, the GOAT does like a 360 no scope with a rainbow gun or something in the trailer. It was just, if that doesn't make you want to watch it, then.
And a flower bomb.
You need to watch the trailer. When I watched the trailer, I thought this was a completely different game. I was like, this is ripping on the GOAT Simulator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll look on Steam. We can look on Steam and kind of investigate like what other, now that we've played it on Xbox One and seen what the achievements are and stuff, we can see what the Steam achievements are, and maybe some of them will be, the same, or to see.
I imagine they're pretty much the same. I think Sniffles looked at them beforehand and they look the same, but I don't know how much detail you looked into it.
Again, not confirmed for Xbox One, but given the success, I guess, probably of GOAT Simulator on Xbox One. I mean, a lot of people were talking about it.
Yeah.
I can't see why they wouldn't add that to Xbox One or just.
I think they were talking on Twitter a couple days ago, asking people if they wanted some DLC. So I think obviously they know they're going to do DLC. It was kind of just their way to tease it.
So that's kind of cool, I think. I mean, I'll check it out.
Oh, definitely.
So that's all we're going to say about that. I apologize for the rant. I'm not even going to bring it back up. Don't Google that. Okay. So, games with gold, Mafia 2, F1 2013, and those are on the 360. And then we've got Castle Storm on Xbox One. So who has played Castle Storm?
I've played it very quickly. I mean, the review that we did sometime last year was done by Boski, so that's on the site.
Yep. And I believe, did she stream that for our Extra Life?
Yeah, she did, and she gave away a bunch of codes that were given to us by Zen Studios, the developers and publishers.
Yep. Okay. Same game then.
So I mean, for the better opinion, look at her review, because I've not played it that much myself. I played the tutorial and I've played some multiplayer and I've got a kind of feel for the game, but I've not played through it enough to know where it's going and everything.
And so what have you unlocked for Gamerscore? What would you say about that?
I have got the very easy initial achievements for it. I've got complete the tutorial, play your first game of multiplayer, and win your first game of multiplayer.
Kind of standard, okay.
Yeah, so, there's only...
Oh, and you did win.
Yeah, I mean...
So it's not that hard, or?
Is that the assumption you're making?
Wow.
That seems unfair. That seems harsh.
Alright, I haven't even played it.
That's rough.
Yeah. No.
I might have not even downloaded it. I did.
My first game multiplayer, I played against some level 18 guy and he clearly knew what he was doing, which I didn't. Because this was my first game of Castle Storm ever. I decided to do it online.
Yeah, it's like Christmas noobs, right? Like, I mean, these guys have had it forever and like now all these people are...
Exactly.
It was like how I felt on Worms. Like all of a sudden the online component is refreshed.
Exactly. So for the seasoned player, I mean, having games with gold is brilliant because they can just pick up easy noobs like me. But there was an issue where I played my first game of multiplayer and the achievement didn't unlock. But my second game, where I kind of learned what I was doing, I did win that one, and so both achievements popped in one go for playing your first game and winning your first game. So I mean, and a friend of mine had the same experience where the play your first game didn't unlock until he won a game, and then it unlocked and it was fine. So slight issue, but I mean there was no issue eventually with it unlocking. And then there's only one more multiplayer achievement, which is to beat a higher ranked player than you. Which at the moment the hardest part of that is finding a player that is not level 1.
Is there a max rank?
I do not know.
Wait, finding a player that what?
That isn't level 1. Because at the moment everyone who's playing multiplayer it seems to be level 1. Except the level 18 who absolutely thrashed me.
So I'll wait till you get to level 2 and then you can let me beat you.
Well, we tried that with my friend of mine. He's level 2 now, but you have to let the game matchmake you. So while the game is so busy with new players, it's really hard to force the game to pair you with the person you're trying to play with. Whereas when it quiets down at the end of May, I think it will be a lot easier to play a game intentionally with someone at a higher level and win to get the achievement.
Or if you're good, you could just win.
Yeah, but that's not an option for some people.
If someone's a higher level than you, do they have more of an advantage?
Well, when you're level 1, it means they've actually played the game for a bit.
I mean, not like regarding experience.
I don't think so. I think they literally just know the game better than you. They might have some better equipment they can use, but it looked like I could choose any equipment I wanted.
Right.
So there didn't seem to be any issue on that front. I just literally had no clue what I was doing the first time I played. That was the only issue I had. And then, I mean, single player, fairly straightforward, the tutorial I played. And then there's some more tutorials after that. There was a lot of tutorials. And it took a while for the achievement to unlock, but that got there in the end. So the game is basically, it's kind of like Angry Birds in the sense that you're throwing projectile at the enemy castle and you're trying to topple it over. But at the same time, you can also deploy troops to do battle with the enemy troops that are also coming from the enemy castle, and then they can then go and destroy the gate. But you can also deploy your hero, which you play as. So you deploy whatever hero you've selected, and then you've got ranged attacks and melee attacks to go and fight and try to tear down the enemy castle. So the game ends when one of the castles topples over. So that's the.
That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot to learn the first time to learn all the mechanics because there's a lot of buttons. There's quite a few menus to cycle through to make sure you're doing the right attack at the right time, like choosing between projectiles and spells and and everything. And then after that, once you've got to grips with it, it's kind of easy and it gets fun.
Nice.
I might actually check that out tonight.
You should. It's free.
I have a lot to check out lately.
It's a growing list, isn't it? I'm
probably gonna. It is. It really is. Like this year has just been piling right on. Like we need to start like a backlog podcast where we just talk about games we've had for months and never even played.
So rather than play the backlog, we're going to talk about it.
It might be easier. At least we'd be committed to doing it.
Yeah, feel like we're making progress, even though we're not playing them.
I consider thinking about my backlog of progress.
I know. Well, 2 more of them you can add to it is Mafia 2 and F1 2013. Have you guys played either of them? Are they in your old backlogs or in your old completed logs?
Nope.
I've not played either one.
I mean, I played Mafia 2 on the PC when it released for a little bit.
Okay.
But that was years ago. It was back in, I think it was 2008 it released.
I got Mafia 2 in a swag bag for a party that I went to, and Mafia 2 was one of the games that was in there, and it's in the plastic still.
Wow.
I just had so many games, I'm like, I'll open that when I get to it, and here we are.
Yep. So are you going to download it, or are you going to open the plastic wrapper?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not going to download it, because I can just save the hard drive space, but...
Well, you could purchase it, and then... And with this tangent is actually relevant. So last week,
that's what I'm doing. I did that on purpose to be relevant.
Last week, the 360 preview update went public, and in preview it added support for 1 terabyte external hard drives. But now that it's public, it's got support for 2 terabyte USB 3.0 hard drives. So you could download Mafia 2 and not waste a lot of space. Because 2 terabyte of 360 games is a lot more than 2 terabytes worth of Xbox One games.
Yes.
Because they are like, only a few are bigger than like 8 gigabyte or something.
I think my hard drive's 320 and I'm almost running out of space.
Yeah.
Of just free games.
Right, so
That's been ages.
So if you add a 2 terabyte external to that, you'll be fine for the rest of your life.
Yes, but that requires you to have a spare
rest of your
hard drive.
Well, I feel quite confident saying the rest of your life, because I mean, there won't be that many more 360 games.
Well, the rest of the 360's life, it's less morbid if you say it that way.
Like EA just came out and said like 80% of copies for Battlefield Hardline sold on Xbox One or PS4, so I think 360 and PS3 are quickly coming to an end for, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Good to see future games just focus on the current platforms. I think we can...
and mainly if for no other reason than my backlog.
It's pretty brutal, but as long as they're not bringing out if they keep bringing out games on both platforms, then people won't upgrade. They have to just leave some strictly to.
But it's also
this
splitting
generation.
development time as well.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you're splitting between double the number of games.
Or they'll have to pay for more people one team to work on one version and another team to work on the other.
Yep.
Right.
It just seems, I don't know, it's not a good idea.
Well, I mean, we're a year and a half into
stuff.
this new generation, so I mean, it's bound to happen. By the time the full release come out, we're 2 years into this, so it's natural that the 360 and the PS3 are going to get less support.
Now that said, I don't talk about it much on here, but I am kind of a retro gamer. I grew up on retro games, and there are still games that come out in cartridges for like Sega Genesis or whatever.
What?
It's kind of interesting. People like do them homebrew. It's kind of funny.
Are they any good?
Yeah, I mean they could be a game released, from just about anything. You know what I mean? Like they put it on a memory chip or like a chip, put it in a cart and like actually manufacture it and everything. It's pretty crazy.
That's cool that there's a community around that as well.
Yeah, it made me think of it like when we were talking about consoles dying. I don't think they ever die. They just go somewhere else.
Go into a New Mexico landfill.
Yeah.
Right, New Mexico landfill, exactly. Okay, so
Formula One.
I guess that's it. We've not really played the 360 games, so like we can't really talk too much on them. It's just more of us kind of complaining about backlog problems. But
well, the other one is,
I guess if we
Formula
check
1
them out
2013.
What's that?
The other one is Formula 1 2013. I mean, I've played 2010 and 2012, and they're coming out with 2015 next month already. So 2015 will be the first Formula 1 game on Xbox One and PS4. And it will also be on PC. So, I mean,
And do you have any insight on how they are for achievements or any of that sort of thing?
a lot of them are quite grindy. I mean, because there's a 7-year career. And in 2010 and 2012, which are the two I've played, both of them have achievements related to completing a 7-year career. And a career, for perspective, is roughly, one season is 20 races.
Okay.
Each race, I mean, the default setting is about 5 laps or something. A lap is about 1.5 minutes, which is, I mean, that's not too much. But then there's a qualifying session, which is an hour long. There's practice sessions. So if you really want to like get good lap times and have a good race, you need to put in the time on the practice, which I mean is easily an hour and a half, even if you're doing it quickly.
Can you?
All right, what's up with all the racing games like being so long? All right, go ahead. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Sniffles?
Can you not just put loads of assists on?
You could. But I still found that because it's F1 and because the cars are so sensitive that you really do benefit from practicing. I mean, you could turn down the difficulty level to the easiest. You could turn off, I think you could turn off damage, turn on all the assists, and then you would have an easy time. But I think for the best experience, I mean, I found that to do like somewhat realistic assists and just do the practice, and it really pays off on lap times.
Yeah, once you stick on a load of assists, it actually becomes more boring and grindy because
it just becomes like an on-rail, like Formula 1 on rails is not really the best experience.
Formula 1 on rails.
That's pretty much what it becomes when you turn on brake assist and everything, because it's so precise that the game knows exactly where you need to brake, where you need to shift up.
All you have to do is just hold down accelerate, and then
exactly.
it will just you never have to take your finger off.
Which is how I used to play the old Formula 1 games before I really got into them.
Okay, so I may try some out sometime this month. If I get a chance, I'll just maybe kind of take a look at the games. I'd like to be able to talk to them a little bit. I'm sure most of you are like us, and you're going to download these and not play them. So we've got probably a couple of podcasts we can wait before we dive into them deeply. But it sounds like I don't know what Mafia 2 was like. I honestly didn't give it much of a look. I feel so bad. I should have played it before the podcast. I didn't even think about it, but cause like I said, I do have it now on disc, so.
I've yet to turn on my 360 this month, so you're ahead of me on that.
I did turn my 360 on because I started playing Minecraft, which we spoke about, and this is not on the schedule, but I did start playing Minecraft and popped a bunch of achievements. I still have some to work for because they had the title update to 1,000, yeah.
So I haven't really looked at it. Did they kind of just make those achievements like mirror what's on Xbox One, or
yeah, it pretty much kind of follows back in with what's on Xbox One, yeah. So, thankfully, like my world that I uploaded from the 360 to go to Xbox One contained a lot of things that were relevant to the achievements. Like I had chests with a whole bunch of stone in them. I had every single color of wool.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because
maybe I'll have
you
to.
know,
you
so
made achievement was.
At some point.
Yeah, so for me to go back to the 360 to get those same achievements, like there wasn't anything that was Xbox One based as far as that goes.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And then of course the new tutorial world, contains, you know, areas to get the rest of the achievements. So I just have to kind of go through that and play. But I did do that a little bit this week. The other reason that I did not get a chance to play Mafia 2 or F1 2013 is because I've been playing Shovel Knight and Auru's Awakening, which I'll have coming up for review. So I guess the fact that I'm going to write a review, I'm not going to review it here, but I can talk about the achievements. So
is this your first time playing Shovel Knight?
Well, other than at PAX, yes.
Okay, because I own it on the 3DS. I bought it when it came out, so.
Oh, it did. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to be able to talk about that in my review, so.
I'm not that far in it. I am not that good at
Did you play both? Have you played both or just on the?
I have not played the Xbox One version, so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's why I was seeing what you thought about it.
Well, I mean, I'll talk about that. I did, yeah, as a first experience, I mean, it totally reminds me of Mega Man. It's totally, retro or whatever.
It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like Volgar if you played that.
It is, but nowhere near as hard. Nowhere near as hard. Yeah. So, interesting point someone brought up on the forums. I would like on the Xbox.com forums, which I would like to just kind of speak to for a little bit here. There was a little bit of a debate going on about, the retro games, you know, becoming a fad and that and then one person just wished it would go away, which is totally cool. I mean, I could take it or leave it. I do enjoy them, but there are a lot also. This one I think would break the mold of that. This one is a good one, that I don't mind, you know, being the 8-bit graphics and that sort of throwback because they do really capture, you know, it's kind of like, I think the reason that there are so many of these types of games coming out is because, you know, kids who had all these great game ideas. Remember when you guys, and I'm sure it was true, I know we're different ages here, but I'm sure it was true when you guys were kids. Everybody who played video games, like they always wanted to call and pitch the developers. Like they always had like, wouldn't it be cool if a game did this? And like, you know what I mean? And I think what we're seeing is just all of these kids with these great ideas, like I would love to make a game that did this. Well, they're just grown up now and now have the resources to do that stuff. And so they're making them. Which is probably why, because if you read any of the blogs, not just Shovel Knight, but if you read any of them, they're all talking about like, I've had this dream since I was younger. I've always wanted to make games. I've always wanted to do this and that. And they kind of fall back to what their childhood dream was rather than chasing the future of, you know, like 3D game and artwork and this huge,
And it's easier for them in a smaller team as well.
And just being a smaller team, cause you can make an 8-bit game by yourself. You know what I mean? It's not nowhere near, it's not to take anything away. It's not easy, but there is still a lot of work, but it's doable. But Shovel Knight, and that's a tangent, I know, but Shovel Knight, it definitely breaks the mold of like, not that I didn't like Volgar, but I think Volgar was too hard for most people to appreciate. That's like
when you like can't even make it past the first level. Like
right. I mean, I enjoy it, but I grew up playing games that I spent $60 on.
Yeah.
And never beat the first level when I was a kid. And so like I appreciate it differently than say somebody like my younger brother who, you know, did not.
Yeah, I think to
experience.
make it I think it's a game you have to like buy and want to kind of play, like knowing you spent money on it, you know? Like giving it away for free, I feel like it just opens up all these people that like downloaded it and then like got frustrated like right away, like didn't know what they were getting into and then like just deleted it. And it kind
And
of
so
just
now
doesn't,
they may not try Shovel
right,
Knight.
and it doesn't do like that genre kind of service, I guess.
People just have
Right.
so many
That style.
expectations for these free games.
It's for the new games. I mean, Volgar was definitely a cool game, a good game in a retro setting, but it's a little bit too retro. Like I said, I can appreciate it, but I can totally tell where a large portion of the population who, you know, I mean, I played video games half my life, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars of games that I never saw level 2.
Yeah. Well,
Like Top Gun, I mean, I've never been to the desert level more than one time, I think.
I mean,
And that's level
it was
3.
just funny because I remember when the game came out, like the developer I followed on Twitter and you can tell he was like just searching the name of his game.
Oh, he was reveling in it.
And he
loved
was
it.
just like retweeting all
Yeah.
these people that were like, just played Volgar the Viking on Xbox One. This game's horrible and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd be like,
And
go
he's just-
straight to hell,
Yeah, he's just,
quit
like,
making
retweeting
games,
them
and
all.
he'd be like, tweet. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. He's a good sport about it, but it was just funny.
So Shovel Knight is not, it's not that hard of a game. It's a little difficult because it is, you know, old school platforming. It's not that hard of a game. Where the Shovel Knight is definitely hard is definitely in the achievements. I have a list on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/aka Scratch, all one word. If you want to check them out, I'll put a link probably in the description as well with the Goat Z trailer. But the game is not, like I said, it's not that hard, but the achievements are. And I have videos of the easier ones, but they only give like 5 points. And they're not even that easy, but they are definitely doable. But the game is like a whole bunch of like miscellaneous achievements. Like one is they're like to help all the moochers in the hat store. And so for that achievement, these moochers are like, I want to do this, but I really need some funding. So it's like kind of like the GoFundMe of this game. And so they want you to give them like 1,000 coins or 1,000 gold or whatever or your money. 3,000 gold will buy off all of the people in the store and they leave the store. And when you pay all 3 of them the money they're asking for nothing, you get nothing out of it that I'm aware of. Cause I've only just done it. But when you pay them the $3,000, they all leave the store and then you get an achievement for paying them for no reason. 5 gamer score. It costs you 3,000 coins or dollars or money or gold or whatever for 5 gamer score. And then there's another one where, do you guys remember when you were kids in the early 30s and 40s? No, I'm just kidding. When you guys were kids, like they had like, or like when your grandparents were kids, they had those balls that like you would chase after with a stick. Like have you ever seen, you know what I'm talking about? I don't even know what they're called.
Well, like a ball, it's like a hoop.
Yeah, a hoop or whatever. Yeah, not a ball, hoop I meant. It was like before hula hoops, like maybe even somebody put one of those around their waist to get hula hoops invented, but there's a kid, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, gender's difficult to discern in 8-bit graphics, but there's a kid that's playing with one of these hoops, chasing it with a stick, and you have to like bounce on it with your shovel for 5 seconds. Takes a little bit of practice, but you can do it. And basically you're bouncing kind of like Scrooge McDuck does in, DuckTales. Bounces on his cane. It's the same sort of action. Takes a little bit of practice, but you can do it. 5 gamer score. So there's all these little kind of easy miscellaneous achievements. And then the other achievements to make up for the 1,000 gamer score is like, complete the game without dying. And I'm telling you, like, it's a serious thing to complete this game without dying. I mean, like, it's not going to be, it's a raw beat it without, like, don't die.
Well,
there's no, like,
it's not like Ori where you can just,
yeah, there's no, like,
cheese the
copying your
achievement.
saves.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, who would do that?
Yeah, and definitely not on this definitely not in this game. I mean, it is a straight start to finish, die, go back to the beginning. You better be ready. And then there's one for like destroying all the checkpoints in a level. So basically, if you get to a checkpoint in the level, it's like a glass ball. And if you bounce on it, you destroy the checkpoint, but it rewards you with a large cash prize. So that's good for getting cash, but if you die and have to start all the way over at the beginning, you'll probably run out of that cash because you lose a little every time you die. So
wasn't there another game that did something similar? Like it rewarded you for not going through the checkpoints.
Right. Yeah. When you get to I don't remember, but I do know.
Sure we talked about something.
I do know there was something like that. Yeah. But this one does reward you. I mean, it gives you quite a bit of money if you just say, hey, I'm not going to take this checkpoint. And then if you can make it to the next one after that, then you'll get to reuse that checkpoint unless you break it. So there's like an achievement for breaking every single one, like never using a checkpoint in the whole game. And if you've played through like just one of the levels, like that's a pretty big deal.
How long would it take to go through the whole thing?
I mean, like to go through a level, I mean, you might play for 20 minutes on some of the levels, including dying, depending on your skill level, but you could play 20, 30 minutes on just one level. So to break all the checkpoints and not be able to restart in the middle of the level, that's like a huge setback. Like really huge. So, you know, it's kind of split between them. It's a little stingy with the achievements, but if you can do those impossible ones, it's definitely worth it. And then the other game that I was playing is Aru's Awakening. Have any of you guys checked that out?
I think I saw something the other day on Twitter about it, but I've now forgotten what it was.
Okay, so the graphics are like, they kind of remind me of like Flipbook, you know, like pencil drawings and then you do like the Flipbook, you know what I mean?
Oh, is that the video you put up of your number one?
Yeah, I actually got first place on level 1 and there's like a time trial to each level. And I actually got first place on most of them, which was pretty cool. Or on the first one anyways. First place globally. Maxen didn't believe me, but I did.
I still don't.
We'll never believe you if you say you're number one in the world at anything.
Well, there's a video of it, so I got video proof.
Has it been released yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can't even blame that.
I can't even blame that. The guy who has the guy that has second place in that one, he pretty much has first in every other one, so I might have the fastest possible time. You know what I mean? I don't know. 'Cause like I got pretty lucky, I'm not gonna lie.
Do you have a video of the run you did?
Yep.
I do. Yep.
Okay.
That's the one that's the one I posted up and challenged people to try to beat me. 'Cause if you can beat me, I'm curious to see how you do it.
Oh, I did see that you tweeted community challenge.
Yeah, that's just something I made up at the spur of the moment and nobody took it, so maybe I started a little too high. I set the bar a little high for the first one. But
They're clearly all intimidated by you.
We'll work on it. Most of those achievements, I think, look for playing through the game and then getting like all golds, all bronze, all silver. It's kind of like Rayman, in each of the levels. There's about maybe like 20, 25 levels, something like that. I'm only about halfway through like the second world, like maybe level 8 or something. So maybe there's a little more than 20. I'm not exactly sure how many, but I'm chipping away at it. It's pretty good, but it's not going to be it's not a easy 1,000 indie game, I can tell you that.
Oh, I like those.
But it is a pretty good game.
I feel like the indie games that have been releasing lately have been a little bit harder than they were, say, last year.
It goes in spurts. It seems like we got a flood of easy and then a flood of hard, and you know, like we're kind of.
We had iDub in February. I mean, that was not difficult.
It doesn't get much easier.
You also got to think now that these people aren't going through publishers now, so they're like all on their own to come up with all this stuff by themselves. I don't know how much really say publishers had in the developers' achievements before, but like a lot of these companies have even if they did do any like games last generation with publishers, there's a lot of companies that this is their first go around. So it's interesting to see like some of the approaches that some
Yeah,
people
and
are
I think
taking
they
with
know
their
what
guns.
they think is an achievement, because sometimes
Right.
they put the achievements in for like, well, like the press start achievement, right?
Yeah.
If you do like a press start achievement and then see who press start, I mean, if you played the game and popped the achievement, like that gives them like a way to gauge how many people played it. You know, like get to level, you know, I think some of them serve purpose for like statistics, right?
Yeah. I'm
So
sure
like
they can
how many
see those
people,
stats
like
anyway.
there's an
They
achievement
definitely
for
do.
beating each level, right? So how many people only beat to level 3, or, you know, like statistically, I think that would probably have a
Well,
little bit of a
like
I
a
reckon
good
they
example
can-
too is for people that are talking about the game. Like a good example is Bloodborne. You know, game out on PS4. I remember the whole rhetoric was, "Oh, this game's too hard. People are going to pick it up just for the hype, and then they're going to sell it because they're not going to know what to do." And like people were looking at the trophies, and on PlayStation you can see like the percentage, like worldwide, what the trophy's worth,
Mhm.
and like the trophy for beating, like say the second, third, fourth boss didn't really drop off that much, and it was like from the first boss.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like a lot of people that came in with that kind of like, oh, this game's too hard, people are just gonna sell it. You know, you can point to that data and say, well, it looks like people are actually keeping it. And I think developers do that too, like Scratch was saying,
Yeah.
use it as a way to kind of judge their game, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Get
that
ideas.
for sure, but I mean, if
That
it were
makes
me
sense.
making the
Yeah.
achievement, I would definitely.
I think they can, you know,
Look
log
at
all
that,
those
yeah.
stats and more things than that, just not as
Right.
achievements, just to some service.
Like how many
somewhere.
I think it
skull coins
serves
you
both
collected
purposes
in
though,
it.
at the same time. You know, like some games, like let's say, a game like, Stick It to the Man that I played, it's an indie game. I mean, it's kind of like linear. It's actually very linear. Like you go through the levels and like that's what you do. So you're really kind of hampered on like what achievements you can throw out there. Whereas something like Goat Simulator, like Maxen played, like you can literally, it's just like a random sandbox game almost. Like you can just throw anything you want in there.
Yeah, you could say
It's
lick
like, yeah,
a
so it's
1,000
interesting
things, or
to see the different kind of approaches that you take, and it's all based on your game, really.
that's true.
So, I guess we got one more thing. Maxon is going to talk to us about Project Root.
I am.
Root.
Wait, before that, I want to hear Maxen talk about Defense Grid.
Defense Grid.
Oh,
Yes. Aren't you working on one last achievement there?
I am. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, me and Max and I were talking the other day.
love
We were
this.
in a party for like 3 or 4 hours just talking about random things, just trying to mop up some achievements, and he was on Defense Grid, so I'll let him talk about his
Yes,
process
yes.
there.
I have not heard this story. I'm so intrigued.
So Defense Grid was a game I reviewed for the site September,
I
something.
remember you actually playing a lot of it.
Yeah, it came on, early September, mid-September, I think.
Yeah, so I played it in September.
I love when people get outed on the show here. This is great.
Yeah,
We need to do that more.
I do want to hear him
Okay,
talk
do.
about Defense Group, but this needs
Okay.
to be brought up before.
So this is a really important point on the achievements, actually. This is why Judge brought it up. So I played it in September. I played it quite a bit. Then I stopped playing it for other games like Forza Horizon 2 and everything. But so I went back to it because there's quite a few achievements related to completing the story. So this game will actually give you, if you know what you're doing, it will give you 10 or 12 achievements the first level. And this is a fairly small game. I mean, it's the size of a normal indie game, but it's got 65 achievements, so it's an impressive list. And it will throw them at you at the beginning. But then towards the end, there are 2 grindy achievements. So one of them is killing 50,000 aliens, which is,
Wow.
they're
Okay.
the enemies of all types. I mean, by the time you do the other achievements, you'll have done this. And then the last one is for 100 gold medals. So, the campaign has 20 levels plus a tutorial, that's 21. And then it's got all these different game modes on every map, which are actually quite fun, until you start grinding them. But they change up the games. I mean, so each tower has 3 stages, green, orange, and red. Red being the most powerful. So one game mode, for example, is no red towers. It limits you to not having red towers. Or there's a game mode called no bullets, or I think it's called outer bullets. So you can't use your gun and cannon towers. You have to use like the flamethrower or whatever. So getting 100 gold medals was something I was working on in November and December. I don't know if anyone saw this on Twitter, but I was tweeting a bit saying that I was like getting there slowly because it was taking hours.
Steady.
It was taking hours. So I did the campaign on the normal difficulty level, and then just to try and speed up getting the gold medals, I switched to combining normal, easy, and hard. So I was like starting on the first level. So I was basically just doing the same level on as many difficulty levels as possible, just like because I would get familiar with the map and it would just make it really easy to get golds. So I did that, and then eventually I got to 100, and the achievement didn't pop. So I got to about 105, the achievement still hadn't popped, and then I started investigating why it happened. So it turns out
And isn't the big thing is, like, you know how Xbox tracks your achievement progress usually?
yeah,
I
so
guess on this game it wasn't tracking your progress,
Exactly.
like, no matter what you were doing.
right, so
Yeah.
the achievement list was tracking progress on every single other achievement.
Except for this
Except this one. So I was basing it on what Smart Glass was telling me I had. So Smart Glass was updating every level with how many gold medals I had, which is how I knew how many I had.
one. Right.
And then once I got to about 105, I started investigating what had happened. So basically, initially
You're in the
there,
wrong game mode or something.
no, so it's only tracking gold medals on one difficulty level. So I've combined 3 difficulty levels to get to 100, and it's only tracking, so it's tracking my easy, normal, and hard separately,
Right, like
And I
100 easy or 100
and I
hard.
have to get to 100 in one of them. So all of a sudden I went down to about 30 or 40 instead of 100
Oh man.
after, hang on, I will pull this information
And you were
up.
doing stuff harder than it should have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing some stuff easier than I should have been, but I was doing some stuff harder. I was like,
Oh, man.
so my attempt to like, my mouse just died. So
And sometimes it does do that, like some games just don't track for whatever reason, like it won't track an achievement.
Like
but
it's
some
tracking,
games
but
do.
it just won't show
Yeah,
it in the
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Like it doesn't show it like a live update. Yeah,
Yeah.
but keep going, Max.
yeah, so that was
Keep
yeah, I'll keep going with the achievement. Thank you, Judge.
Keep going. You got it.
Share the pain.
But that was the crux of it. So basically, all this effort had been wasted. So now, after playing quite a bit, I'm back up to 72 easy gold medals.
And this is the last achievement you need, correct?
Yeah, so this is worth 100 gamer score, and it is
Yeah.
the last one I need for the completion. But the thing is as well, once the game had launched, there was actually an issue that it wasn't counting some gold medals at all. So they had released an update sometime after launch, which I can't remember the exact details, but it reset some people's progress.
Oh,
But I
geez.
remember reading that it didn't affect me, but I don't remember what the cause was. But
I
basically,
actually fairly remember people complaining about that. But
vaguely
remember.
yeah. So if you played Arthas, if you started playing now, you're not affected at all. But it did affect some people. I wasn't one of them. But I've now got an Excel spreadsheet going to make sure that I'm counting, and I'm on 71 or 72. But in this multi-hour chat with Judge the other day, I did about 6.
Yeah, we were talking about like Excel sheets and stuff, like he was saying, like you just said about how he has an Excel sheet going. And I do the same thing for Rise. Like there was an achievement for playing on every single multiplayer map. And so like the achievement ticks off like when you've done a map, but like there's probably like 16 or 18 maps, and like how am I supposed to know? I wasn't really remembering which maps I'd already played on. So like it would say like, 10 out of 18 or whatever, or however much percent.
Right, but you don't know
like,
which 10.
I couldn't actually know which 10 I had done, so I did the same thing. I started a Excel sheet, and whenever, like I just started from scratch on every map.
Right
and
from
I just,
me.
Yeah, just started from scratch on everyone, and I just wrote the name into an Excel sheet as I did it, and I eventually got it. But yeah, the things we do for some random
So, I mean,
achievements.
I was so annoyed back in December because I was so sure I put quite a bit of time into it, and I was so sure that I had done it, and then to find out that I was back down to 40 instead of 100, that was quite annoying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was basically starting
Heartbreaking.
again.
But alright, I hated to I didn't really hate it actually, but I'm sorry for taking you away from.
No, that's
Project
fine. I mean, it's a good thing.
But it was a good story. So if anyone is doing Defense Grid or looking into do it,
Don't do what Maxen did.
no for the 100 gold medals, it needs to be in one of the difficulties, not
Right.
spread across.
And as far as I remember, the campaign mode achievements are independent of difficulty levels, so you could start on easy and just do easy all the way through.
Right.
And you won't get punished for it, as far as I know. So that's pretty good. And I mean, I've got down a method to get gold pretty much every single time I play a level. It's just that some of the levels take forever. It feels like forever.
Well, one of these upcoming podcasts,
not real forever. But...
I have faith that you'll have it completed and you'll tell everyone that.
Yeah, so I'm doing,
that game.
I'm trying to do like 3 or 4 golds here and there, and eventually I will get it. It's just annoying. I mean, I thought I'd done it, and then to be reset so far down.
Well, during this process, we also found out that Maxen has a lot more completed games than I do.
On Xbox One.
On Xbox One.
Not
And harder games. Harder, I mean like games with actual substance and not like world.
Judge is dissing a whole load of games right now.
I mean, Goat Simulator does have substance. It's just,
Well, I was, I have like Nutjitsu and like Another World, like easy games. I think my hardest game is, or true score wise is Child of Light probably.
Yeah, whereas my list is Forza Motorsport 5, Forza Horizon 2.
All games that take like hours, like 100 hours to complete. And like
games that I put over 200 hours in each. I mean, you can do them in under 100 each, but I spent 200 to get the completion.
Yeah. So found that out during our little investigation there.
Crazy.
He tried to even the tables by counting the Xbox One apps he's completed.
Yeah, he had like,
Is
when
that
you have like
fair?
12 or so completions on Xbox One.
I have 13.
13, yeah, and I have 6 completions of games, but I have 7 apps completed, so I was like, yeah, I got the same as you.
Oh yeah, the apps, that kind of counts.
No.
Speaking of that, I just finished Amazon Instant Video today, 100%.
Wow, congratulations.
Sniffles, we talked about this on our own, right? Like,
What, Judge?
how many games that we've completed or something?
Is this leading somewhere like that you've done more than me or something? I can't remember. No,
I think no. At the good call, but no. I think you were like 1 game ahead of me or something. We looked into it.
Do you mean just for Xbox One or?
Yeah, just an Xbox One and.
Oh, I think it says here I've done 26 on Xbox One.
26. I've been trying to step up my game,
But that may include apps. Oh no, games only. It's 26, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had Plants vs.
Pretty good.
Zombies as well, but then they released DLC, so that got taken out of my completions again. I still need to go back to that.
yeah, it's the same thing with like all the Telltale games.
Oh, that's right.
Sent, and then they'll add a new episode, and then so it'll knock it out. So you go back and do the.
Yeah, whereas the Xbox 360 used to keep
right.
it in your completion until you played it with the new episode.
Right.
Yeah, I like
This
that.
will just like kick it out right away.
Until you did
Well,
that, it stayed there
I
nicely.
remember one of the old Trials games. I was like, I'm never going to play that again because I don't want to do the achievement.
He was looking at my page and he saw I had 16 completed Windows Phone games, and he's like, "You want a Windows Phone?" I
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, back in the day."
You know, I think that when I started going to Xbox forums, when I first signed up as an ambassador, I think I remember seeing you had Windows Phone games. I mean, you used to be in the Windows Phone forums.
yeah, that was a happening place.
Yep.
My last completed game was Monopoly. That seems like
Where are
a
you
while
finding
ago.
this?
That was 2-3 podcast episodes ago.
Yeah, it was 26th of March I finished.
Wow, you gotta step up, man.
You didn't get a completion in April. Man,
No.
you're slowing down.
No, I didn't.
Wait.
I probably got, like,
Where are
2
you finding
achievements.
this? Where are you finding this?
Scratch, you're not very good at this website,
It's
are
on
you?
True Achievements, yeah?
Yeah.
True achievements, and then just go.
We
my
are
home
so
page,
tangent right now.
You scroll down a bit.
This is such
and
exciting
that's
listening.
Right on the right hand side.
I know that I've got more than you.
Across all the platforms, I have 72, which I know Sniffles has a lot.
Oh yeah, completed game, Xbox One 23.
Yes. 26.
Alright, I gotta start catching. I gotta start,
I've got 73 on Xbox 360 and 42, 42 Xbox Live
73
Arcade.
on 360.
Yep, and 42 Xbox Live Arcade.
Wow.
And I have 139 gamer score. I'm just not good at completing games.
My total
You're good
game.
at
All right,
starting
how
a
about?
lot.
All right, let's
Yeah.
just throw it all in there. How many total games completed?
You know you've won this though.
I only have 72. I know you just said you have a
87.
lot.
Now you subtract your 25 apps.
No, that's a separate. It's a separate.
There's no app. I only have 3 apps completed.
Apps are listed separately.
But I have 143 completed games. 1 on iOS,
Doubled me.
1 on the web, 1 on Windows Phone, 2 on Windows, 42 arcade.
All right. Well,
You've got a lot.
73.
how many
360,
total
20.
achievements have you won? It should say right on top of the page there.
I'm sure our
Total
listeners are
achievements,
fascinated by this.
7,535 achievements in
7,500?
421
All right.
games.
I got 6,300
Oh. I only got 5,000.
in 394 games and 32 apps.
Okay, so I think that's a good mic drop segue to Project Root then.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got way off topic there.
Yeah, we did. I'm sure if we still got people listening, let's talk about Project Root. So Project Root.
Project Root in 5 minutes. Go. I'm just kidding.
Can I have 5.5?
Yeah.
Does that include this conversation?
You're at 4 minutes.
Okay, so Project Root released last week. I will be reviewing it properly for the site, but I mean, I'll talk about it a little bit here and mainly the achievements. It's a game. It's you control a ship, you're flying around, you've got enemy ships that you want to shoot down with one gun, you've got ground enemies that you have to shoot at with the other gun. So there's multi-level combat basically. So your aerial opponents you shoot with the right trigger, which shoots them whatever gun, and then you drop bombs essentially with the left trigger, to take out tanks and turrets and structures. So your objectives are based on taking out structures and surviving long enough to get to the end of the level, which I've not yet done. Moving on.
Do you think this game is going to go on your completed list?
No.
Okay.
With almost definite certainty. But so before recording this podcast, I streamed it for a little over 2 hours, and I was just basically replaying level 1. So there's an achievement for completing level 1 in under 4 minutes, but I think that must be after you upgrade your ship quite a bit, because I was spending 20...
Upgrade your what?
Upgrade your ship with a P.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Okay,
so
sorry.
you can upgrade your ship with a P, but because I was spending 25-30 minutes on level 1 and then dying and having to restart, and it was incredibly frustrating. But I don't understand how there's an achievement for 4-minute completion on level 1. So there must be some upgrades involved.
Right, there has to be like a speed boost or
right, because there are speed boosts, and I mean, eventually I got enough XP to hit level 1 on my ship. And when it said, it was
Trying so hard now.
hard to say that now.
It's trying so hard.
There was a notification that came up and said +2 XP. But I went into the main menu and tried to spend that XP and I couldn't, and it said I didn't have any and I couldn't buy any upgrades. I don't know if I need to complete level 1 to like bank the XP or something, and that's the issue.
Okay.
Cause that was weird and frustrating that kept happening. So on this 2 hour stream, I learned quite a bit of the game and like how to play it. So, cause I kept like flying into bullets rather than avoiding them.
Well, here's the silver lining for you. There's an achievement I'm looking at that you get for dying 50 times.
And I have got
The silver
42%
lining.
progress towards it.
And I've got 42% progress.
So basically, that's 21 deaths. And there's 3 deaths per, so you got 3 lives every time you attempt the level.
Yeah.
So I've basically failed level 1 7 times.
I was gonna say, I also just saw an achievement for like
You are like the best
completing the level
mather.
without dying. So
I was doing it.
Nappa.
I was doing these calculations earlier.
I was gonna say, that was like quick.
I mean, I have no idea what we talked about for the last half hour in this
Rattling
podcast.
them off. I'm like, man, I'm impressed.
You shouldn't be, because I've not been listening to the podcast. No, so there's an achievement that I've got called Baby, which is complete the tutorial. I mean, that's fairly easy.
nice.
And then there's one called Hunter, which is killed 100 aerial enemies. I mean, I've done that easily. I've killed 50 tanks, which gave me a 40G achievement called Killer. And then there's one that I probably shouldn't have got on level 1, which is Traveler, which is the only one related to distance traveled. It's for traveling 100 kilometers. And I got that on level 1 after replaying it 5 times. And seeing as it's the only one based on distance travel, I'm not sure it should be on level 1.
Can I just ask, like, if the game only had level 1, like, you're still cool?
I mean, it would keep me occupied for quite a while. But there are...
So that's saying something.
'Cause I mean, I feel like I was getting further, but I feel like I'm not playing it properly. I think I'm missing something. Cause I was like going through, taking out all the turrets, all the tanks, all the aerial enemies, and they were just knocking up like, each one I was killing was knocking up a tiny little bit of health, and eventually it was enough to kill me, and I had to restart. And I feel like it would benefit if it would save progress partway through. Like after you complete one of the bigger objectives. Because otherwise when you die, you have to restart from the very beginning. And I mean, I'd spent 25 minutes on a level. If I wasn't a streamer, I probably would have quit. It was kind of frustrating. Cause I don't know if I keep getting this feeling that I'm missing something, that there's a way to do it quicker. There's a way to bypass some of the enemies to like skip an objective and still complete it.
Right.
Cause I feel like it just wasn't working out for me. And I don't know, I'll play a bit more before I review it properly. But like, the achievements are all fairly easily straightforward and based on progress. So I mean, there's quite a few for completing the different levels. There's one for completing on easy, one for completing on hard, one for completing on normal, the entire game. There's one called Endurance for playing the game 5 hours, which again seems like you should have made quite a lot of progress before you've got that. I've already got 44% progress. So that's not great. There's also...
Well, that's probably just from your stream, right?
I did play a little bit before, over the weekend. I played the tutorial, and I had 1 or 2 goes on level 1 over the weekend as well. So I mean, I already had a tiny bit of progress before I started today's stream. Or yesterday's, or the day before's, depending on when you're listening to this.
Just so you didn't look too stupid in the stream.
No, I actually decided quite late on to do the stream. I wasn't planning on doing it. I came home and I was like, okay, I'll stream and see what people think, and I'll see how I get on with it. And then there's also one I'm seeing that's collecting 10 lives, and I haven't collected a single extra life. So maybe level 1 is considered so easy that you don't need extra lives, but I've not seen any. I mean, there's quite a few, like, health regenerations that are around. But, I mean, not enough, clearly. And then there's some for like collecting all the special weapons. So I mentioned that right trigger shoots aerial enemies and left trigger shoots ground enemies. And then the right bumper activates your special weapon, which you need to pick up. And if you pick it up, it gives you 3 of whatever weapon you've got, like a homing missile or some kind of pulse mine, which I don't really understand. But it gives you 3, and if you collect another one, it doesn't stack, it just replaces what you've currently got.
Right.
Which is fair enough. I mean, it meant that when I saw, like, there was a floating power-up that was the same as I already had, I would just, like, expend the other, whatever I had remaining, and then just pick up the new one and replenish my ammo. I mean, it was kind of a fun game. I didn't really get the hang of it, but I'll keep trying. Keep failing.
So your review is going to be like level 1 centric?
Yes. Unless you want to come over and play it for me and teach you how to get to level 2.
Yeah.
No, but I'll endeavour. I mean, I feel like I should be near the end, and I'm just messing up. I'll need to concentrate as well, and I think I'll get it. I need to figure out why I can't level up the ship as well, because it did say I had 2 XP points. And then I went into the menus and it said I had 0.
It probably cost 3 to level it up.
No, it said it cost 1, it cost 2, and it cost 1. There were 3 different things I could level up. It said I had none, so I don't know if I need to get to the end of the level to bank it, like I said earlier. And that might be the only thing I'm missing. So I'm wondering if I could complete the tutorial and that would count as a completed level. I'll try that later. Cause I mean, I definitely need to upgrade the ship a little bit, cause I'm slightly too slow, slightly too weak damage that I'm dealing on the enemies to actually, cause I feel like I have to
and you're not even close to
I have to hit them a few too many times and I'm just like exposed. So the thing is as well, with this game, you've got enemies flying in from all around you, you've got 360-degree attacks on you, and sometimes there's just a little bit too much going on the screen, it's a little bit too chaotic. You got basically enemies circling around you, all shooting at you, and there's no way you can avoid the bullets. Even if you shoot out the end.
Kinda like how I feel on Geometry Wars sometimes.
Yeah. It's like when you get to the end of Geometry Wars, except it's right at the beginning of Project Brute.
Level 1.
Level 1 is where it's at. So it's sometimes just a little bit, I mean, in the information we received beforehand from Reverb Games when they gave us a review code, it did bill itself as chaotic and everything, and it does live up to that. But sometimes it's just a little bit too chaotic and it's a bit too hard to discern what's going on, especially when you've got multiple levels of combat and you've got to keep an eye on the turrets that suddenly pop out of nowhere that are on the ground while trying to take out the ships and the tanks and the objectives. And then once you've done that, you're flying off to the next area and it's perhaps a little bit too slow. I feel like
because your ship isn't upgraded.
Right, exactly. So but it also, so it doesn't really strike that balance quite right, I think. But I mean, I still enjoyed playing on the stream, even though I was doing quite badly. So
cool.
I think I'd wait till the review to see where I stand completely, but right now I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm just really bad at it. And if you are interested in picking it up, this week is a good week to pick it up because it's 30% off. So in the US, instead of $10, it's $7, and instead of £8 in the UK, it's £5.69, I want to say. Something in that region. £5.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty good to get a deal on it. I saw that was on the games with gold, or deals with gold.
Deals with gold, yeah. So generally, idea Xbox games seem to be, well, a lot of them seem to be 30% off in their first week. So if they launch on a Friday, they tend to be until the second Tuesday after that. So a week and a half of 30% off. What was the?
Yeah, if you grab them early.
Yeah.
Fill that backlog, people. Fill that backlog.
The last one was
30% off.
We Are Doomed, which was such a cheap game that it was discounted by like £1 or something. It was barely discounted. Well, no. It was a 10% discount, and instead of £7.99, it was £7.19 or something. So it was discounted by like 80 pence. I mean, which is 10%, which sounds good. It just didn't translate to that much in monetary terms.
To very much because it was already cheap. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that leads us to the close here. I think we're all caught up, right? Did we have anything else? Yeah, we went kind of long. We're looking at we're only an hour and 18 minutes. So, real quick before we sign off, I just want to throw a few things out there. If you're looking to play with some cool people or talk with or whatever,
don't look at us.
On the Xbox forums, there's a thread going on. My Xbox just turned on. Great. It's like, ooh, me? You want to play me? But anyways, on the Xbox forums, we have a thread, the Xbox Forum Regulars Leaderboard, where it's just friendly competition, for Gamerscore. And there's a little bit of a leaderboard there, and some people keep some different stats. It's kind of cool just to kind of check in with everybody, every day and say hello or whatever. So, if you're interested, maybe check that out. I'll put a link also, in the description, and then, not in the well, I guess it is the description or the post here, on xboxgamer.me. And then also, I just want to let everybody know that Rogue Legacy is coming to Xbox One via ID at Xbox on May 27th. That was just recently announced. It's a, you know, if you're into these old school 16-bit sort of
it's another one.
Things, and you don't have quite enough platforming, this is not like Shovel Knight. It's kind of like I think it's like a Splunky. It has randomly generated levels. There's no shovels, but you are a knight. So look for us talking more about that. It is actually already released on PlayStation 4, so there's some reviews and things out there on the internet if you want to look it up, but we'll be talking about it, I'm sure. So I want to thank everybody for listening, and if you're still here, thanks for sticking with us through a long podcast. They definitely run a little bit longer when we have just more and me and Sniffles, even when Sniffles has the real Sniffles.
and then obviously this week we have Project Cars, and which I'm looking forward to.
Oh yes, Project Cars is coming this week. We've probably have some videos up for some of these different games. I know I'm going to have some for Wolfenstein.
Yep, which you've downloaded and you'll talk about next time.
And I'll probably talk about next week because I'm about to jump into that here in a little while. So I want to thank everybody for listening. Thanks for sticking through this with us. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, accolades,
send complaints to Scratch.
Yeah, whatever. You can send them directly to my face. And it was great podcasting with you guys. Thanks for joining. And we'll see you all on episode number 20.
And beyond.
Big 20. All right, we'll see you later.
Thank you.